The Oruga Podcast.
Somehow somebody's always looking the other way. Now look at these guys. They look busy, right?
Just super intensity.
Yeah.
But then after that, it'll dissipate. And he was explaining that. And then he got it, and he was just screaming on the top of his lungs. It's so fucking funny. Because, there is no fucking way that I would ever be like, that's my job? Yeah, I'll get stung by the most painful insects in the fucking world for some views.
Money.
For some fucking views, bro.
Welcome to the Op. Be sure to check out Oruga's shop. We make shirts and hoodies that are comfortable and stylish. Follow @ShopOruga and visit orugastore.com. That is ORUGA store.com. Beat produced by Saipuda. Check him out at saipudabeats.com.
So, okay, you've been doing night shift a bunch. I have to know. What's your secret? Like, how did you actually transition, from being a daytime worker to being a nighttime worker? Because you were talking to me about how you got off at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
6 a.m., dude.
Got in at 7, left at 6:16 or some bullshit like that.
16.
Yeah.
100 hours. What does that mean?
No, I mean 6:16.
6:16. Oh, okay.
Like AM.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was ass. It's just the fact that everybody calls off and then they're not being held responsible the day after they come back or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just get handed their task while they're...
How many hours do you typically work?
It's funny because the actual schedule, it says 30 or
30 a week.
Sometimes it says 29 and a half hours to 36. And that's just because everyone's schedule, it usually never says 40 hours, like a full-time, like a normal full-time job.
Okay.
Because I think the hours are just displayed like that to please the higher ups. And then the company is actually losing money from overtime, and people they call it milking the company, and It's basically when you're just waiting wherever. You could be waiting in the break room, you could be just waiting for a flight to come in.
Mm-hmm. So being lazy as an employee, you're milking the company for cash?
Yeah.
Okay.
And most of the time, I think it's under the radar. I mean, people do check the cameras, but you could literally go anywhere around.
Where did you learn that term from? Milking.
The term milking?
Yeah, where did you learn that term from?
I feel like I've heard it used before at Kroger and shit.
Okay.
But this is where it really became prominent.
Really?
And it's just the fact that people can sit around on their ass without getting
reprimanded?
Yeah.
From a manager or a higher up?
Without having any problems.
And these are just this is physical labor jobs, right? None of it's mental.
None of it really is mental. I mean, I had to do computer training at 5 a.m.
Jesus.
And it was an hour-long video on emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
And I think it's because I was... So, I started the learning courses and all that for, the airlines.
Okay. And the education on your job.
Yeah.
The training?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For each specific airline.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the fact that I was just trying to over-succeed. So I finished all of, the IT ones, the information technology videos.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all, animated and just really silly. And then I finished, a couple others. And I accidentally signed up for the emotional intelligence one. And then it turns out this guy that like gets there at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically a manager of like safety operations.
Okay.
He's like, you have to complete a video because it says if you don't complete the video, I won't be able to pass you from trainee to like an actual agent, ramp agent.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, shit. And it was an hour-long video, and you could watch it in 2 times speed. So I did that. Sure. I left it on. 30 minutes go by, and this.
You get Tourette's while watching it.
I started watching it at 5:40, and I get out of the airport I clock out at 6:16. I was like, dear God. But at least I got paid to just sit on my ass.
Mm-hmm.
And that's literally half the job. So it's kind of good.
That is nice. Hmm.
And
But okay, do you take caffeine while you work? Like, do you have any caffeine?
I go to the vending machine so much.
Really?
Yeah. But I try to limit it to, like, the way I think about it is that if I'm making $20 an hour,
mm-hmm.
I should probably only spend 10% of it at work.
Sure.
Like, per hour. If I'm, like, $2 max.
$2 an hour. Okay.
So, like, I try to limit myself to probably...
So $20 a day?
No, that is definitely not my spend. No.
Because if I do the math, that is what it is, right?
If it's a 12-hour shift or 11, basically 11.
Mm-hmm.
It probably is that kind of math, but I don't try and spend that much. Like, I think yesterday it probably added up to 10.
Okay.
But that's because I got 3 drinks and shit like that. 2 snacks.
2 snacks.
Yeah, and everything is...
Do you get dinner there? Do you, like, go to the grocery... Or not the grocery, but the restaurants that are in the terminals?
Yeah, I go to Subway sometimes.
You go to Subway?
There's a Smash Burger. There's a couple good places there.
When you go into line of these restaurants, do you see any other employees, or are you the only employee in line?
Say there's downtime. Like,
sure.
There's time between flights. You'll definitely probably see an employee. Just, like... Imagine as if you were at a mall, and everyone's just a mall employee. It's kind of like that at the airport. So, like... Oh, that person's he works at Hot Topic. Mm-hmm. And he's taking his break at, like, Sbarro or Chipotle at the mall.
Sure.
And you're like, oh, he's just chilling.
Like, okay, your hair's getting long. Does that mean, like, are you wearing, like, a hairnet? Or not hairnet, but, like, a hair tie?
I'm still wearing this hat.
Really? The hat just does enough?
Yeah.
What hat, like, do you not experience, like, any engine wind?
There's someone with way longer hair than me.
Really?
Yeah. But no, I never get that close to...
The engine?
No. Because you have to wait.
Do they keep them on while they park them?
That's the thing. They do keep them on, and then you go up to the front landing gear and chalk it. But that's while the engine's running. Mm-hmm. So, like, you do maintain a safe distance while the engine's running to...
You never want to get sucked up into one of those.
No.
Have you had, like, a training session on that?
Yeah.
On, like... Have you seen the videos of the people getting sucked up into engines?
No.
There was this one... So, okay, the one I watched, the person didn't die, so I, like, didn't feel guilty about watching it. But it was an Air Force guy next to a jet engine. And he had a hard hat, construction hat on, and when he just got, like, sucked up into this engine, the hard hat stopped the engine, or, like, had, like, a failsafe, so it just, like, stopped before it got to him.
What?
Which is, like, and he just got pulled out and he was completely unscathed.
That's wild.
But yeah, it can I don't know how that should be applied to you, but just be like, yo, don't get too close to those things.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, you mostly stay on, like, the side of the wing, which is so far out from the engine. It's, like, 10 plus feet. So, like, you're always away from the engine at least 10 feet, unless you're unloading or uploading.
Looking for comfortable. Looking for comfortable and stylish apparel? Something right up your alley? Oruga has a collection for you. Monochrome features sleek black and white designs. The Workweek in Thermal features pops of vibrant color. Check out orugastore.com for unique styles and streetwear.
Sorry to keep talking about this, but do they ever put those planes into a warehouse and like park them for a day? Or are they always running?
Oh yeah, they definitely do.
They definitely do.
Sometimes they just like Delta's even got their own hangar out there.
Mm-hmm.
So like anytime they need maintenance or repairs, they just drive them out there to the hangar.
But that's the only time when they drive them out to the hangar. That's the only time a plane will ever like quote unquote rest.
No, I mean like they do leave them parked not in the gate. Like,
Really?
There's like little strips of just parking.
Outdoor parking lots of planes?
Yeah.
That's cool, actually.
They just leave them out on the not a runway, but it's just a specific place.
Runway adjacent.
It's like they call them, you like tow it out. So you can tow it out to a place,
Mm-hmm.
and then sometimes you have to tow it back in after it's done with maintenance.
Have you experienced that yet?
Yeah, I've had to help tow a plane in.
Whoa, that's cool as fuck.
Yeah, so
Really?
the person, they just attach the thing and all that
Mm-hmm.
to the tug in the plane, and they just wheel it back into the gate.
What happens, like, is there any fail-safes for you guys? Like, what happens if the plane isn't in neutral? I know that seems like a dumb thing, but, like, the wheels on the plane, what happens if those brakes are still locked on? Is that a stupid question? Like, what happens if you can't pull it? Are you supposed to, like, talk to the technician? Are you supposed to call a pilot?
Yeah, there's
like,
always a technician on board.
Always.
Especially when you're towing it.
Oh, okay,
They use
So there's a person in the plane while you're towing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
not just like you're towing an empty plane. There's someone piloting it.
Okay.
Which is weird because they're only a ground pilot, sort of.
A ground pilot.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's technically, I guess, what they're all trained to do is drive a plane on the ground. Is all of those maintenance people that work on those planes, or at least, well, like, I don't know about, like, there are specific
Wait, is there like
engineers for, like, engines and all that, but, like, I'm talking about the people that, I guess, are in the cockpit and helping fix all that shit and run diagnostics.
Whatever happened to that missing plane? The Malaysian... I don't know.
It turned into a Netflix documentary.
It turned into a Netflix documentary and that was it.
Yeah. That's where it went.
Yeah. It went to Netflix.
It flew into Netflix land.
They just have a warehouse out in like the middle of Montana and they're like, we'll have this for a documentary in a couple years.
Man, they definitely got abducted. They got sucked up or something.
Or by aliens.
Who knows?
The Martians.
I mean, the fact that they're...
The Atlanteans.
The flight box, the black box was never recovered or something.
Yeah.
And that's always like... you can always find it on a GPS or something like that. Or it's always trackable.
And it's always having a ping.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a ping. That was a whole hysteria during that time when that plane went missing. Because there was 3 Americans on board. And like, I don't know, just like the sequence of news was really fascinating because everyone wanted to know where that plane mysteriously went.
Yeah.
And
then some like...
There's always bad leads.
Some news came out that there were like important people on that plane, and they started like doing some spider web connections, trying to trace it all back to meaning something. There's always some That's why it turned into a Netflix documentary.
The conspiracies, man. There was millions of conspiracies. Like, I almost like those kind of events. It's almost like the submarine explosion or submarine implosion. That was like a couple months ago.
Probably a month ago.
A month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just those kind of stories. The news just really knows how to run with them.
Yeah.
There's just like so much mystery, so much conspiracy. Who are the false narrative
they really
people?
go in depth about each person.
Mm-hmm.
And their whole background. Because, like, the fact that we know that the dude's a billionaire and was charging that much a ticket, and just, like, there's so much information readily available about that specific event.
The person who was running the submarine was a billionaire?
Yeah.
Really? He was a billionaire?
The company, at least, I think.
Interesting.
But he was frugal and trying to save money.
Sure.
And building it.
Frugal.
Like with the goddamn controller.
Yeah. It's
One
true.
day, I'm gonna build a plane with a Xbox controller.
You should. I'll go on it.
It'll be
I'm just kidding. The day that you become a submarine guy is the day I become an astronaut. You know? I'm shooting for both of us to happen. That'd be cool.
Who knows what vehicles we'll be piloting in the future.
Dude, imagine having underwater land. I've been thinking about this a lot recently.
Underwater real estate?
Right. Because...
That's already a thing, I bet, for oil companies, you know?
Yeah, of course. Oh, good point.
So
Are we gonna...
how could we turn that into a civilian standard?
Well, I think Atlantis isn't too far of a stretch for us. Because think about it, like...
In terms of, like vacation destination?
Living destinations. Living destinations.
Might just have to move out to South America for that.
Sure.
That's where the real paradise is.
Well, I just mean that, like, okay, let's talk theory for a second. What if there's no more land to be bought? No more surface land to be bought. Everybody's overpopulation, overgrowth, everybody's got...
I need to live on a beach in my lifetime, for real.
But what if we do have the ability to build homes, like, I don't know, 100 feet under the water surface, and then, like, I don't know, what if there's a little more protection from, like, asteroids or the Ice Age because you're underwater?
You know what, yeah, that's some shit I never hear about, is how much land do people own that have beach homes? Or how far does their land extend?
Into the ocean?
Yeah.
Like, are you trespassing if you have a boat in front of my house?
Is it international water? Like, what is it consider?
I think I think there is a, like, it's international waters once you get to a certain distance.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because some things are like gulfs and shores.
Yeah, there's American coastlines that I would assume that, like, that distance into the, like,
you're breaching into U.S. territory.
In U.S. waters.
Yeah.
I would assume so, but yeah.
Which is such a weird thing to say, because how is that determined? Like, how do you determine that?
Imagine we start having wars over waterland.
I could imagine it, because if we're having, we could have wars over oil, and oil rules the sea. Right,
and we have such, like, distinctive lines in the soil of where as a country we have
really distinctive
borders,
like, legislations and rules about borders on land.
Mm-hmm. What if we start having that shit in the oceans and the seas?
Like pirate days or something.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, we start making borders in the sea. And we start living on the sea. And we start living in the sea.
How many islands Japan has?
How many islands does Japan have?
Can you look
that? Yeah, I can look that shit up. I didn't know Japan had that many islands. I know on their southern, like... Oh, no, I gotta look that shit up on my phone.
It's gonna make a sound.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what?
Here's my MacBook restarting. Just for a nice soundbite.
Japan islands. Dun dun.
Hit him with it again.
Dude, 14,000. 14,000 islands Japan has. The approximate number is 14,125.
Imagine being rich enough to just afford one of those.
That's crazy, dude. Do you really want to live on the beach? I mean, I'm talking about living in the ocean, but that's when the future is here. You know what I mean? When, like, you actually have the ability and the technology is there where I'm not going to implode like those fucking billionaires. Like, I'm actually going to have, like, this capsule in the ocean that's set in this particular location, and I have safety because the walls are thick enough and I have good oxygen. Yeah. And it's livable and it's, like, enjoyable.
Yeah, because the fact that global warming is just going to become more and more existent.
Yeah.
Or more prominent, I guess. I don't know if existent's a word. I think that we'll probably just end up living in the ocean like some mermaids, you know.
Like Atlantis, bro. Atlantis. Do you remember? I'm gonna be a nerd for a second. Do you remember?
And think about it, like
the first
AC, air conditioning. That would be so easy if we lived in the ocean. We would just have the same cooling as the water.
Oh, you would just need heat at a certain depth. It would. Actually, I'm gonna start talking out of my ass. I don't even want to do that. But okay. Back to my original question. You want to live on an island in the future?
And we got to be ready.
Visit orugastore.com today and enter the discount code OP15 for 15% off your order on all Oruga merch. Free shipping for orders over $50 is available as well. Thank you.
Like, you want to live
not on an island, but definitely a beach.
Definitely a beach.
Yeah.
Why?
Maybe because the palm trees.
The palm trees.
I just need to see some palm trees every day.
Okay. Do you like the sandy lifestyle?
Yeah, I like the pina colada lifestyle.
The pina colada. You don't even drink alcohol, no one.
I just like the pineapple and coconut drink. I don't care about the alcohol.
Okay. What would you rather? I'm assuming America. East or West Coast?
It's a valid point. Probably, I'd trust the East Coast. I don't see too many tropical storms that way, you know.
On the East Coast?
Yeah. I don't hear about them as much as the West Coast.
Man, I totally disagree.
Or no, I got it flip-flopped.
Yeah,
I got it flip-flopped. I meant I would rather trust the West side.
Because if it's on the west side of America, when a hurricane hits them, they call it a monsoon. There's not many. I don't know. I rarely hear about monsoons hitting that. I don't know, but I don't live over there. But that's where your decision making goes. Oh, is the weather?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care how hot it is out on the West Coast. As long as there's no tropical storms or hurricanes, I'm fine.
So what does that mean? California?
Yeah.
California?
Unless it's dry as fuck in the future. Because it's just drying out more and more.
Or LA just goes to sea. Have you seen that shit?
No, is the sea level rising over there?
There's a fault line right in between LA, and there's like this section of land they predicted that would separate half of Los Angeles and the land connecting to this like fault line, and it would go out to sea like over time. So it's
just gonna break off.
Yeah.
It's like part of its own.
I don't know if that was fake news or not, but I do remember that being like a legit news thing that they're like, we have studied tectonic plates, we have studied how these plates are moving, and this is what's going to happen in 20, 30 years. And then they were also connecting about how, like, during that news article, they were also talking about how Miami will be underwater and how the rising water, like the glaciers are melting, so we're gonna have to retreat in our land because our water levels are gonna rise.
Yeah, I don't know about the middle of America. Those states are just boring.
Oh, for sure. Besides Denver.
And Tornado Land.
Besides Denver, I would be okay with that side of the country. But Missouri, St. Louis, Topeka, fucking Oklahoma City. Jesus.
I was about to say Oklahoma.
That would be very boring. I don't think I'd be satisfied.
You're just shitting on every state.
I've been there though. I'm gonna be honest. I've been there. I think I saw everything I needed to see at that. It's just, but yeah.
I wouldn't ever go so far north like Maine, unless for vacation or something.
I have some family in Maine actually.
Really?
And they love it. They love it.
What else is close there? Vermont?
New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut.
That's the
Rhode
state
Island.
I never hear about is New Hampshire.
New Hampshire?
Who is living out in New Hampshire?
I don't know.
I need to find some people that live out there because I just never hear about anyone existing in that state.
That's a big there's a lot of agriculture. The New York and Vermont, there's just a lot of agriculture.
Damn.
I don't know much about it. Also, the opioid pandemic as well really crushed Vermont. Really crushed it because they were Vermont was the highway connection between Canada and New York City. Mm-hmm. So it's just this, I don't know. It was the in-between. It was the in-between that really, kicked off the opioid pandemic there.
Damn.
Epidemic. I don't know what the proper word is.
It's that little channel in between Canada and America.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
It was Vermont?
It was Vermont. It was
so cool.
It was opioids and pills. I don't know, a pill issue.
What do you think is the most non-favorable state to live in America? I wouldn't say Alaska, because Alaska is beautiful and it's got so much land.
And Alaska offers a lot of nature. If you hated nature, that would be a horrible place to be. But I feel like most people there are kind of appreciative of being out on the frontier. But what state would be probably North Dakota or gosh, I just could imagine either being in North Dakota or in New Mexico. Imagine being in New Mexico in the middle of nowhere. That's just desert town. And same thing with North Dakota, just being in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Having just a little shit town. We're close to Kentucky. I've lived in Kentucky, and there's some shit towns in Kentucky too. You can get really down into the boonies if you start driving in places. If you turn off your phone with no maps and you're just driving, you're gonna find
drive past the hills.
You're gonna be in some places that you don't know where a gas station is. There's I don't know. There's probably a few spots in America that are pretty undesirable. That's for sure. There's dangerous neighborhoods in America, and then there's also just nothingness in some neighborhoods. Just desolate. Factory farms are desolate. Just, I don't know. Yeah. But I'm speaking as if I want to be by the human hive. I want to be by a city.
Dude, every time I cross the Covington and Cincinnati Bridge, you ever see like the train, all those trains just
the double-decker bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all just lined up, and they never look like they've moved in forever. Mm-hmm. Those always trip me out when I cross that bridge, because there's just so many trains, and they just look unused.
Are you
train cars, and they got graffiti on them.
Are you taking the 71-75 bridge?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. That one's a scary bridge, too, because that's a double-decker as well.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking scary-ass bridge. I don't know why. I've just never enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's just...
It does feel pretty narrow.
Mm-hmm. Especially you got two semis right by you, and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know? And it's so funny how the Cincinnati City Council was debating on the structural integrity of that bridge, and it still hasn't been improved. And like, I don't know, man.
They need to find somewhere in that budget.
Yeah, they're sending billions and billions to Ukraine, but we can't even get $500 million for
Let's build a new bridge.
Yeah, let's build a couple new bridges. Come on.
Yeah, Ohio and Kentucky, those bridges are just failing.
Yeah, they're not big enough too for how much traffic goes through. Like, you're talking about 75, man, from Florida. It goes from Florida to Atlanta, like in Georgia, to Tennessee, to Kentucky, to Ohio, and beyond. I mean, like, there's just so much logistics and so many semi-trucks that pass through that highway system daily. Mm-hmm. And for us to not have decent bridges is crazy. It's crazy that we don't have a 4-lane highway. We have 3 lanes, and that's the best we'll ever get. And it's crazy. It's wild.
One day they'll crumble, and then they'll have to just be able to afford it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They're gonna wait until it breaks or something.
That's so sad, actually. I shouldn't laugh.
The American way.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
What, fix it after it breaks?
Yeah.
That's the American way.
Don't fix it before it is about to break.
No.
Fix it after it breaks.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Ugh. What's your dream home?
This is gonna sound contradictory to the beach lifestyle. It's definitely a lake house.
Still by water, huh?
Yeah.
How big of a lake do you have to be satisfied for it to be a lake? Would you be satisfied with a pond?
Enough to, like, paddle.
Enough to paddle.
In a canoe. And maybe there's an actual current.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a downhill stream.
Can I show you some photos? So...
Yeah. Did that cardboard boat regatta thing ever happen?
Oh, yeah, of my grandfather's friend doing that. I guess he did that recently.
Was that in July?
I think it's this weekend. I really think so.
You know, Geta Fest is going on?
Geta Fest. Really?
Yeah, and it's also next weekend, I think.
Wow. Alright, I'm gonna show you this picture, and it's of my lake, or like my homes, you know. Mm-hmm. But this lake that I was at is fucking postage stamp. It's barely a lake.
Yeah.
But this fish I took a photo of was literally as big as my fucking arm.
Really?
Dude. Check this out. It's these 3 photos. And like, check this motherfucker out.
Are you saying it's as big as a... Holy shit.
Isn't that like a fucking sea creature?
Yeah, that thing looks like it could swallow like your leg.
Literally. He was so fucking huge and scaly. Did you know how long...
This is at your lake?
This is at my lake, bro.
Dude, you need to catch that thing.
Dude.
It's probably been eating up all the other fish.
Did you see the other photos? Yeah. Isn't that fucking crazy? Look how big that motherfucker is.
You need to just have a fishing pole in there one day.
I think this close, I would have to jump on him.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to pull him out with a
catch.
Yeah, just hand catch him.
How hard do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know. Did you know that, like, bass, the fish that's called bass, can live up to 65 years old?
What?
The fish can live up to be 65 years old.
What about, like, catfish?
Yeah.
So, like, basically the same thing.
Same, like, it might not be the exact same life expectancy, but pretty close. Let's look it up. Catfish life.
That's so crazy that they could live beyond a human.
Yeah.
Because most people are dying from, like, heart problems and...
I'm tripping. Catfish, only 6 to 10 years.
But
I'm tripping.
Bass?
Bass life span. What? Largemouth bass. It's 16 years. Then what the fuck was that?
You were misconceived.
Dude, no. I looked up this thing, and it said this fish can live up to 65 years old.
Well, look it up. Look up longest living fish.
Longest living fish. What? Dude.
What?
A Greenland shark. Based on findings from a 2016 study, the rarely seen Greenland shark can live for 392 years, and perhaps even longer, making it not just the longest living fish, but also the longest lived vertebrate.
What? How can something age that slow?
You want to see pictures of this thing?
What? We need to get its DNA, bro.
I guess.
That's
crazy, Greenland shark.
Humans are going to start injecting their stuff with that. They're going to be like, I got the Greenland strand.
We're going to start hunting them. We're going to be like, look at us, we're amazing. We can hunt this old-ass fish. 392 years.
That is just unbelievable. How can we even figure that out?
And I know there were some jellyfish that lived for a long time, maybe like 100 years. But like...
I know, sea turtles.
Sea turtles, how much were they?
I want to say like probably 80 or 100.
Yeah, and tortoises. Tortoises live up for a long time too.
Yeah. It's either like turtles or tortoises, sea turtles. One of them live a really long time. Probably 150.
Yeah.
Because I remember the one at the Newport Aquarium. 150,
bro. 80 to 150
That's
land
wild.
Tortoises can live up to.
But yeah, the one at the Newport Aquarium, before he got moved, I don't know if he's still there. He was over 100.
Looking for an out-of-this-world poster or some stickers to brighten your mood? Check out the Posters and Prints collection on our website, orugastore.com. Our artworks are perfect for walls, mood boards, and anywhere you want to accessorize.
I got this tortoise, like when I was young, and like I was gifted maybe like for a birthday or something, I forget. But I remember them saying that if I keep it all my life, I'm gonna have to put it in my will where he'll go to, because he'll outlive me. And I was fucking like 6-7 years old. There's no way I could comprehend that fact that he'll outlive me. Like, what? Like,
That's so tricky.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Damn, this is everyone's. Everyone should go buy a tortoise right now, and then see who lives longer. as a challenge.
As a challenge?
Yeah.
It'd be a generational challenge.
Exactly. Everyone buy one for your kid and buy one for yourself. And see who lives longer.
If I lived in the desert, let's say I live in one of the shitty locations that I think is shitty. Mm-hmm. So I go to New Mexico. I live out in the desert. I have a tortoise. And those tortoises get fucking huge too. They get like
land ones?
Big. Yeah, they get big.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. That'd be kind of fun. Instead of having a dog, just kind of have a land tortoise.
Yeah. Walk around slower.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to take out.
Yeah, look at this photo of a comparison between a woman and a Galapagos giant tortoise.
Jeez. Fucking
ginormous, right? You could ride it.
Yeah. If you didn't want to crush it.
I'm sure it's
Strong.
shell's fine. Look at these fuckers. God damn. Look at these fuckers. These look like dinosaurs.
Dude, their necks are crazy.
Right?
How far do they protrude out?
This has got to be the character from... What's that panda movie where
Kung Fu Panda?
Kung Fu Panda.
How did you forget the name of that?
I don't know.
It's literally like, you just have to think about what he was doing the entire movie.
Anyways, that's it. It doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah, because it was
the sensei, the master.
He was kind of the same size as the panda. Like
right.
half the size.
And his neck was super fucking long, and you're like, why is
saggy.
his neck? Yeah, super saggy. Well, he looked like a Galapagos giant tortoise.
Man, I want to cop one of those now. And just keep feeding it my vegetables.
Less lettuce, carrot. Actually, I don't know about lettuce. I think it wanted
Just feed it your spare vegetables.
just greens. Yeah, it just wants greens.
Probably munches on grass too. Casually.
That'd be so cool to have.
I know, it's the
That'd be
easiest
so cool.
upkeep. It's the slowest animal.
It's not like he
Mice.
ran away.
And you would see him from a mile, like, what?
He's like a small
You could paint
elephant.
You could paint his shell, customize him.
Yeah. And his shell won't stay the same forever. I'm sure it has like this cell regenerative, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
they
like
do keep the same shell their entire life.
Really? You don't think that if you painted them and let's say you get one, all right now, and you paint him, do you think by 2030 he'll have the same paint on his?
Hell no.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
I think it'll just be weathered off, right?
Man, I'm just gonna cop a tortoise next week.
Man, that's so cool, actually.
Yeah, I wonder how much they go for.
I don't know.
Imagine
Probably
just
a couple hundred.
buying a really small one, and then it ends up being bigger than your goddamn, bigger than Ruby.
Dude,
Or,
yeah.
bigger than your...
It'd be
goddamn
as big as this table.
It could be bigger than a German Shepherd. I don't know how many years that would take, but
30 or 40.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
But that's a lifelong animal.
I wanted to get a chameleon so bad.
So did I, low key. Imagine a horned one.
Those horned chameleons are fucking cool.
Yeah.
And some of them have 2 horns and some of them have 3.
The rhino.
The rhino ones, dude, they look so fucking cool. There was a time before I got Ruby, my cat, and I was thinking about getting a whole indoor, how do I say this, almost like a dry fish bowl? Not dry fish bowl. Just like a glass indoor planetarium.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Is that the correct word, planetarium?
Mm-hmm.
And those were so cool. You can customize the kind of experience, or not experience,
like the lamps and them.
Mm-hmm. And the little land structures that you can make in their dry tank. Super cool. And you can put branches in there and things for them to swing on and things for them to hold.
Imagine a mini fog machine for them. And then,
Yeah, and I was thinking about putting moss in there too, and like make it as much of a jungle as I possibly could.
yeah.
Oh gosh, but those things go for $200 too.
Yeah.
And you have to get them from like chameleon dealers. Imagine going up to a guy who breeds those motherfuckers.
It's been a fat minute since I've walked up into a pet store.
Yeah. When was the last time you went to a good one?
Exactly. Like, it's probably been 5+ years.
The last time I went to like just like a generic pet store like PetSmart, they just had okay fish.
Do you think there's like a Trader Joe's version of just like an animal sanctuary where you can cop hella reptiles or birds?
I'm sure. I bet can
In
I
the
take you a
United
step
States.
farther?
Huh.
I bet there's conventions of it
Exactly. Like,
where you can get cheap animals. And I know that sounds like I don't know. That sounds bad. But I'm just saying like on a budget, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's people who breed so many reptiles that they're like, I just need to get rid of these things.
I wonder if there's a mega mall of animals.
Could you imagine the smell?
Oh god.
The smell
where
of
do-
like
where do
sawdust.
Where do people buy monkeys and all these crazy snakes from?
Places that don't have addresses, dude.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not your local like pet shop.
No.
That has a chihuahua in the front, or like
Yeah.
a little rabbit.
Yeah, those places, honestly, if you do go to, like, let's say you go to a traditional pet store and they sell, let's say, rabbits. If you chill around there for long enough, you'll find a person who buys rabbits on a regular. Or maybe mice. He might buy mice on a regular. And you're like, hey, what are you doing with those animals? Why do you keep coming back and buying them? Well, I gotta feed my...
You probably hear hella interesting stories working at a pet store.
Right.
If it's not like the usual customer who's just buying dog food or like bird seed.
Now, can I ask? What if you have like a friend, all right, and he's like, I got an anaconda at my place. You want to check it out? You want to check out my big ass snake? Yeah, I sleep with it too. I take showers with my snake. Or like, I don't know, just like imagine going over to a buddy's house. And
Like a dude kind of like Steve Irwin.
Who's Steve Irwin?
You don't know Steve Irwin?
No.
The dude that used to save all those animals. And he had his own show.
I got nothing.
Dude, you have to Google him. He's that blonde guy, and he always used to wear like a zoologist outfit. And like cargo shorts and that
Yeah,
little
I know
button
Steve
up.
Irwin, of course.
Yeah, you're just blanking on his name.
I just don't know. It's been so long since I've
But
thought about
anyways,
this dude.
that dude would be hella cool just to hang around. And there's not like a modern version of that guy.
Well, there's his son. His son
is kind of... I forgot about that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his son is, I guess, the mini version of him.
Yeah. Robert Clarence.
But yeah, dude, there needs to be like another popular animal influencer.
There's not many of them.
Could you imagine that career?
Here's a side by side of Steve Irwin and Robert Irwin.
Do you remember that? Did you watch that video, or was Kahaya watching that video?
Of what?
When he pulled it up, and it was of. His name is like Coyote something. Coyote, like. I don't know what his last name is.
Okay.
And his channel is all about getting stung or bit by like the world's most painful creatures or like insects. Do you remember those videos?
Yes, I do.
Now that is like the opposite of the kind of animal influencer that needs to be popular.
Dude, that's
You need to be showcasing like cool animals and not like getting stung or bit by somebody.
Gosh, I was watching a video of that guy.
He was going in depth about insects, you know. Like there's that killer wasp.
What do you know what that guy's name is? The Coyote? I don't know.
I just know his name has Coyote in it.
Yeah. Anyways, I was watching a video. YMH was like throwing a clip of him, and he was doing a the most painful
Like
10
hornet?
Yeah, it was the most painful 10 seconds from an insect bite. Okay? It was going to be pain of 10 seconds of intense, just super intensity.
Yeah.
But then after that, it would dissipate. And he was explaining that. And then he got it, and he was just screaming on the top of his lungs. Ah! 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 It's so fucking funny. Because, there is no fucking way that I would ever be like, that's my job? Yeah, I'll get stung by the most painful insects in the fucking world for some
YouTube
views.
Money.
For some fucking views, bro. Like, were we the ones who were talking about the YouTuber who crashed a plane for some YouTube views?
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember
was,
when we had that conversation, but
that was so long ago. But I know what you're talking about.
Just the guy that would just crash a plane, and the investment of buying a plane, getting all the recording equipment, record him jumping out of the plane before the plane crashes.
Yeah.
Just for how far you'll go.
He had it recording already, and nothing seemed to go wrong, and all he did was just hop out of it. And the GoPro was recording it the entire time.
Yeah.
It's like, there's evidence right there, bro.
Which is just amazing that, there is no limit to some people's views on how they'll get popular on YouTube. They will literally go to no ends of what they'll put their physical body in danger before they're like, oh, this is too far. This is too far. We don't want to do that.
I'm gonna look up that dude real quick.
Well, that Coyote guy?
What is his name? It's Coyote. I knew it was Coyote Peterson.
Coyote Peterson.
But yeah, that dude is a crazy guy.
Can you pull up a clip? And could you put it on all volume and put it by the mic?
I do applaud his efforts on his Brave Wilderness channel.
He's doing this for science. He's a man of science. That's why
21 million subscribers this channel has. No wonder he's getting stung.
And I'm about to enter the sting zone with the executioner wasp. Here we go.
Can you go outside?
Stop burning! The executioner is dead!
You don't know what to think.
Alright, pause that shit.
The
reason why I laugh is because he's in pain, but he is choosing to be in pain. That's the funniest shit about it. You know what I mean? Punching the ground like he's a fucking pussy. That's so hilarious that he's just gonna put himself through that experience for views. That's how he gets his paychecks. Is getting bit by the executioner wasp. What? Imagine that reality tunnel.
I cannot bend my head around that, actually. We have gotten that far as a human race that we are, as a collective, are paying him
Right.
YouTube money to go and sting himself with these insects and get bitten by these fucking snakes and who knows what else.
And who knows what else? Who knows what he's got plans? He might have an executioner wasp on one leg, and then he's got a fucking crazy snake on the other arm.
He's like, I'm gonna do both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
That's how he's gonna inflate his viewership.
Until he does. Hey, have you ever seen the Jackass clip of Steve-O putting bees all onto his dick and balls?
No.
That's crazy.
Oh, no, I did. And he has honey on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they just show, like, him naked, but he's just got bees all over his dick and balls, and you're like, what the... Like,
yeah,
but then...
That was the craziest clip.
That's Coyote's next video. Coyote, what's his name?
Coyote Peterson.
Coyote Peterson. That's definitely his.
From the Brave Wilderness channel.
Do you think that's his real name? Coyote?
I don't know.
That's a real white trash thing to name your kid, though.
It's a cool nickname. It's not a cool name.
It's not yeah. I'm with you on that. It's a cool nickname, but Jesus, if your parents named you that, you're fucking just screwed from the beginning. Oh, God. That's too funny, man.
Since the long pause, how long is it?
It's 53. We've been doing this shit for 53 minutes. I know. We can call it quits soon. I just want to ask you one more question.
Yeah.
And that's like, all right.
That was ad read time.
Yeah. We'll bust you a fucking boom boom. Do you want to collect a free NFT? We'll head over to OpenSea. Anyways, okay, you're wearing a work week shirt right now. All right, it's a champion shirt.
The citrine one.
The citrine shirt, and like would you one day want to expand upon the work week collection?
Yeah, most probably.
Okay.
Because we need to come out with specific colors for shirts. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, not just white shirts.
For sure.
Yeah.
I would agree with you on that one. Not just white shirts, yeah.
But it's a start.
Dude,
it's a start.
I was wearing the, a black, what was it, the Central Park tee. Mm-hmm. I was like, damn, I do like, that's a black shirt. Like, I just like that shirt still a ton.
Oh, yeah, the one with the angel on the front.
Yeah.
Isn't that one the old version?
It is technically the old version, but I like the old version. That can be the owner's edition.
Yeah.
Like, all you people listening right now, you can go fuck yourself because you're gonna get what we have as the consumer's edition. But we as the special people have the owner's edition, and it's pretty cool. I would say, I don't know, it's equal, but yeah. We need to get you a fucking new hat, too.
I know, right?
Jesus Christ, man.
It's basically bleached.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I might want to cop a white one. But the colorway for... I like the thermal Cara.
The thermal Cara. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The red, yellow, blue, green.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
It is pretty striking. I don't know what it would look like on a hat.
It'd be interesting. I would assume, like, on a black hat, it would look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Food for thought. Well, it's been good talking to you. It's been a fun podcast. We figured out that a fucking fish can live up to 390-something years old.
Plus.
I should get a tortoise, too.
Everyone should buy tortoises.
Yeah.
See who lives longer.
Yeah. Have a generational tortoise.
Have a generational challenge.
Who can live the longest?
Challenge your kids. Challenge your mom.
No longer burying your dogs after 10 years. Yeah. Just have a tortoise and it will bury you.
You won't have to worry about burying your tortoise. Unless he gets, like, run over by your Jeep when you're driving away.
Jesus. This thing's a fucking mini elephant. I don't know. Yeah, look up the Galapagos giant tortoise. They're fucking crazy.
And save the sea turtles.
Indeed. Yeah. No, fuck them. But. Alright. It's been good talking to you.
Do you want to collect a free NFT? Well, head over to OpenSea and visit @ShopOruga to view our collections of digital art. Our most recent collection, Citation, is available now. Check it out. The Oruga Podcast.
Somehow somebody's always looking the other way. Now look at these guys. They look busy, right?